Good morning. Hello. My name is Corinne and my research focuses on the teaching that happens at university. My job is that I am a lecturer who lectures lecturers to lecture, or teaches university teachers how to teach, which at some point just becomes turtles all the way down. When I tell people what I do for a living, invariably they say, well, that's good, because when I was at university, my professors had no idea how to teach. They tell tales of professors who put a wall of text on their lecture slides and then read every word. Professors who set their own books as the required readings, so they get a few more book sales. And professors who tell you that lectures are a terrible way to educate students, and then continue with a 2-hour lecture. I think that part of the problem is that we've been sold a lie by television and movies. So along with suggesting that you can walk away from any explosion, that crime scene investigators always find the evidence that they're looking for, and fooling us into thinking that stalker behaviour is actually romantic. Apparently being a professor is a really easy gig. Are you a nerdy character who's just been fired from their job? Congratulations, you can be a professor! Even if you don't know how to spell it. You'll get your tweed jacket with suede elbow patches and the chalk for your chalkboard. Because the assumption is that if you have a PhD, then you're ready to teach at university. Which is a little bit like watching a few comedy specials on Netflix and thinking that you can do comedy. Now, this idea of teachers who don't know how to teach isn't just confined to university. There's a lot of training requirements for primary and high school teachers, but that just isn't the case once you get to adult education. So whether or not you've been to university, you may well have been taught by someone who had no idea what they were doing. Now, in my work, I see 3 different kinds of professors. You have the professors who are interested in teaching and who generally like students, although that can depend on how many stupid questions they've been asked recently. These professors might be new to teaching at university, or perhaps they've been teaching there for a while, and they're interested in developing their skills. Now, outside of work, I'm an avid bushwalker, so when I think about this group, I think about walking along a fire trail. It's a lovely walk, and with some ups and downs going on. It's perfectly nice, although perhaps not tremendously interesting if that's all that you do. And as Virgin Australia have been telling us, why settle for nice when you can have wonderful? Now, speaking of wonderful, there's another group of professors who are doing really innovative and fascinating things in their courses. These professors think deeply about the journey that they're taking their students on, and they want to set them up for long-term success. These professors know that much like climbing a mountain, learning is not a walk in the park. It's a lot of work for the students and for the teachers too. But it's absolutely worth it. And then there's a third group of professors. There is a third group of professors, and what are those professors like? We have to assume that these professors must be good at research because they're really not great at teaching. But it's more than not being a good teacher. It's the willful incompetence and disinterest in getting any better that really makes this group special. I've heard of a professor who chose to intentionally bomb their teaching all semester so that it would be redistributed to other professors. Which is a bit like doing such a bad job washing the dishes that you're never asked to do that again. And sending your students into debt in the process. Let them eat instant noodles. No smashed oven for you. When I think about these professors, I think about having to trudge through the mud, wearing a stupidly heavy backpack, following a navigator who doesn't really care if they send me the wrong way, and paying them for the privilege. When I'm working with these professors, I have to remember that there could be many reasons why they're sending their students to trudge through the mud, and that not all of these reasons are malicious and sadistic. Teaching is just one aspect of these professors' jobs, and they may have had little choice over what they have to teach. These are teachers who don't want to learn how to teach because they'd rather not be teaching at all. And I want to learn how I can get them in the room and excited about developing their teaching, which may mean getting into the mud alongside them as we try to find another path out. My job with this group centres on convincing them to lighten the load, which, and most importantly, making them think that it's their idea. Because hashtag fragile masculinity. Now I should say that as confirmed by artificial intelligence, these professors include, but are not exclusively, old white men. And as an aside, it's interesting that artificial intelligence thinks that all professors have round glasses, blackboard filled with equations, stand with their arms crossed. In contrast, the innovative professors are like seasoned hikers who carry everything that they need and nothing that they don't. They have the resourcefulness to take duct tape and repair broken equipment, bandage a wound, create kitchen utensils, craft a boat to sail away. They truly are the MacGyvers of the teaching world. My job with this group is to celebrate their successes and showcase their efforts across the university and to the broader community. I've worked with a professor of education based in Whyalla who has partnered with regional schools to prepare teachers who are community-minded and relationship-driven. There's a professor in business who has jumped in the toot-toot, chugga-chugga big red car with a wiggly celebrity and his charity to give communication students an authentic work-based experience. I've worked with professors in bioscience to develop fully online courses, including science experiments that students can do from home. I'm told that remarkably few cats have been harmed in that process. I learn a lot from working with these professors, and much of my research focuses on how it is that they do what they do. It's also about understanding what kind of support they need to make their efforts sustainable, because they may make it look easy, but it's a lot of work to climb those mountains. As interesting as it is to work with the innovators, and as intriguing as it can be to work with the mud trudgers, I really like working with the professors in the middle of that pendulum swing. Much of the professional development that I facilitate works with this group of professors, and I'm often using workshops and tutorials to teach them how to teach well using workshops and tutorials, which sometimes gets to be a bit like this. And of course, in recent years, much of that has been via Zoom, which is a bit more like this. When I'm teaching these teachers how to teach, I'm hyper aware that I want to be demonstrating and role modelling the kinds of behaviours that I expect them to be using in the classroom. So it's really important that everything goes smoothly and that I never ever accidentally... My job with this group is to encourage them to continue walking down the fire trail and perhaps to consider exploring a side trail or two. It's really interesting to me the things that I naturally incorporate into my teaching that can be mind-blowing for professors that haven't thought about teaching in that way before. For example, seeing students as more than just students. They are full and complex human beings with competing needs, wants, and demands on their time. Increasingly, students are holding down a job, caring for children, and getting their assignments in on time, all while dealing with existential climate dread and perfecting their TikTok dances. In a similar way, this is more than just a pretty picture. Those rocks aren't just rocks. It's a slab of mudstone that's sandwiched inexplicably between sandstone that millions of years ago was pushed by phenomenal geological forces and thrust onto this angle. And you know those TikTokers can appreciate the angles. Thanks to my geologist walking buddy, I've begun to really see these rock formations when I'm out walking, which has led to richer bushwalking experiences. In the classroom, the professors who really see their students, valuing their unique contributions and perspectives, have a richer experience as well. At its core, my job is about helping professors to be intentional in their teaching and learning. Understanding why they want to use technology or why they want students to do this task in that way. In the same way, when you're out bushwalking, it's really important to stop at a fork in the road and decide if you want to take this path or that path. Makes for a more interesting bushwalk, and it reduces the need for a helicopter rescue to get you back to safety. Which is good, because you definitely can't put a whole class of students onto that ridge. Stopping to think is such an important skill, whether you're teaching or bushwalking. It's about stopping to appreciate the view and understanding how you got there and what you might do differently next time. This kind of reflective practice means not just doing what's always been done because that's what's always been done. You might end up teaching in the same way or walking the same bushwalking paths, but you'll do so with a deeper appreciation for why you're doing it that way and what that might mean for future explorations. Ultimately, my research is about how we can support all of these professors throughout their teaching careers. By teaching these teachers to teach and showing them why they should want to learn, I can influence the learning of thousands of students. And together, we can climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream of high quality teaching and learning at university.